The situation in Flint. We're going to talk now to Katrina Vanden Heuvel. She's the editor and publisher of The Nation magazine. Katrina, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. Katrina, let's get right into what you wrote recently. You say the tragedy in Flint can be boiled down to a lack of accountability within Michigan Governor Rick Snyder's administration. Why?
I think it's the lack of accountability, but let me step back and first of all, this is a crime against poor kids, African-American kids. Let's not forget that Flint is primarily African-American, very poor. But I think we need to step back and not only understand this as a catastrophic political failure, a failure of accountability, a failure of a captured government, captured by lobbyists and big money interests, by technocrats, emergency managers, but it's a failure of misguided austerity policies, the failure to invest in our infrastructure, in our water infrastructure. For too many decades, politicians, mostly of the right, but bipartisan, have failed to make public investments in this country, and we're witnessing the extraordinary damage that has caused, and it must wake us up. We must learn lessons from this. If we don't, we are as corroded a political system as these pipes which brought lead poisoning to thousands of children.
Well, I'm glad that you brought it up right away. You got into the issue of austerity here, Katrina, because you know, it took a while for the media to really pay attention. We know residents in Flint were complaining about their water back in 2014. But to the Nation's credit, you guys actually published a piece about 6 months ago on the water crisis in Flint. And in it, Kurt Gayette writes, much of Flint's water woes, both in terms of quality and cost, can be tracked to its crumbling infrastructure, 600 miles of poorly maintained pipes, plagued by hundreds of water main breaks a year. The whole system is in desperate need of repair, but the city, which is just now exiting receivership, isn't in any shape to foot the bill, and no one else is stepping in to help. Katrina, it's estimated that it would cost Flint $1.5 billion to fix its water distribution system, and as much blame is on Governor Snyder and the emergency manager for actually making the switch to the Flint River. Who else is to blame here? This isn't obviously a problem that started in Michigan, it's not unique to Michigan, rather, and it didn't start with his administration.
Certainly the infrastructure problems this country face does not start, begin, or end with Governor Snyder. I mean, the Society of Engineers a few years ago gave a D- grade to infrastructure in this country. The bridge in Minneapolis fell as the Republicans were gathering for their convention. So there's a lot of accountability to go around. I think, to step back again, a larger question we have to face is we're in the middle of about to enter a presidential campaign. Voters haven't voted yet, but a big issue is always government. Do you trust government? What's the role of government? I think government is critical if it works for the public good. But we're witnessing, in this case, a government that was essentially captured by interests which put cost-cutting above people's lives.